Hey, Cubs fans, and welcome to another edition of Cubs on Tap. I am your host, Nick Hudson. Joined by my friend is a Joey and Nick show, Mr. Joey Ricotta.
What's going on, man? What's going on?
Nothing much, dude. Just lamenting in this loss today, but we will have some happy news. It is a bittersweet series, but before we get into any of that, how you doing, man?
You know, Craig Counsell used to be a good manager.
Getting started early.
Is a rooster from Brewster. That's what R-Truth, the famous words of R-Truth. I don't know, dude. I'm good because they won the series, but it feels like a loss today, and I love that that's our show title, Bittersweet Series, because you had a chance, you had them on the ropes to cut this thing down to 5 games, and instead it goes from 5 games potentially to 7 games, and it feels like you barely even close the gap. And realistically, that's just going to be a very uphill battle here for the last month and some change to close that, to really close that down. So I'm good and I'm bad and bittersweet. Nick, how are you?
Yeah. Oh, I totally get that. I'm doing okay. In baseball terms, 7 is a hell of a lot different than 5, and I have to agree with you. I mean, it was a huge deal to have this opportunity today to cut it down to 5. You could put your foot on the gas. I agree with you about Craig Counsell. He didn't show up on his birthday, but when does he show up the other days? He didn't show up. Punted again on the last game. I've been saying it all season. I've been suspecting it. The punting on these lineups with the last game, a getaway day, all this too cute bullshit. Starting from Jed, who does too cute bullshit, to Craig, who does too cute bullshit. At some point, someone just has to freaking put the pedal to the metal, and today was the perfect day to do it. But yeah, man, it's a good day. Daniel Barry says, "Happy Thursday, hey everyone."
Happy Thursday.
Personally, we're doing well, but yeah, I mean, I am frustrated, man, and I'm sure you can talk forever about it. But we do have a good ball game to talk about first, because we had some bittersweet moments. But yesterday's ball game, they win it. Was it 4-3? I think 4-3. It was a close game. It was an all-around great baseball game. You got what you needed from Ray. He battled through. He gave you, the length that you at least needed, and then your bullpen comes in and shuts the door basically. What did you see yesterday that was in stark contrast to today?
Well, I saw energy, fire, passion. And where did it come from? It came from the young guns, the young gun in particular, Matt Shaw yesterday. Just an outstanding game. Failed to get the bunt down in that key spot there, and didn't let that get to him. There were some pitches there too that, like, I'm like, that dude, pull the bat back. What are you doing? Why are you trying to bunt that? Like, that's not a strike. Sure. What are you bunting there for? Like, I know you're trying to get it down, but the Miz is, first of all, I agree with Tyler. He's got a stupid face. But the Miz was wild as hell. Like, that's one thing they did point out on the broadcast, that he's been very wild, walks wise in the minors and in the majors as well. Slightly better numbers coming into yesterday's game with the walks in the majors than the minors, but still a very high number. And I don't know, like, it was awesome to see Matt Shaw, the way he played, the way that he fought through that at bat. I mean, you're talking, it was an 11 pitch at bat or something, fighting off pitches. And yeah, I mean, the Miz, like, that's when the game's fun. Like, I don't say what you want about the Brewers. We don't like the Brewers, obviously, for, obvious reasons, but That's when the game is fun, when you got two rookies up there that like, okay, this is a battle now, and he's smiling at him, and it's like, all right, like, what do I throw here? What do I
That
do?
was fun. Yeah, that was a fun time. Yep.
I really enjoyed that, and then him to battle through and get the walk, and then later on to hit the bomb that was absolutely huge.
Crucial.
I just thought that was just a standout game from him, especially the defensive play there. He's just made really awesome plays at third base. That barehanded kind of fadeaway toss at third base on a do or die type of barehand play. Very awesome to see there. And then, later in the game, there was a play that I think he'll say that, he probably could have, maybe should have pulled the glove up a little bit too soon. Ball went under his glove down the third base line, and that was getting to be a tough spot there towards the end, but it didn't hurt him. And, he's really the main reason why I think they won that game yesterday. So
yeah.
Matt Shaw just continues to show that you did not need to go out and make a deal for Eugenio Suarez, who, by the way, is absolutely sucking.
He is.
But no, man, that was pretty much. And Colin Ray, like you said, he did enough to get the job done. And the other really, Michael Busch stand out with that clutch knock, bases clearing knock in the gap.
Clutch.
Absolutely, he needed that too, I think. But Danny P. Not to like run down everything, but Danny P, I know he had some problems there at the end of the game, but I really like a new light show, by the way, coming up. It was kind of cool to see. But I like how, like, in the moment when he was losing some command there and starting to get a little bit flustered, putting guys on base, maybe got a little bit lucky because Contreras lined to Nico, who made a really nice play to end that game. But I just love how after he walked the guy, and I believe bases were loaded, if I'm not mistaken, he looks at the dugout and he's fired up. He's going like this, like tapping his heart. He goes, basically like, I got it. That's my bad. I got it.
Yep.
Love that confidence from that dude. I love the fire. I love the passion. I'm not really that concerned with him moving forward. I know we're in a crucial time, and you never know how that's going to play out once you get into these really tough ball games like this and even the playoff time. But that's one thing that I it's really impressed me when it comes to Palencia is he has a fire to him, but also a crazy composure to, I'm gonna throw strikes here, and you're gonna have to beat me. And Contreras almost did, but they got out of it, man. So a lot of positive things. Obviously, you weren't getting the hits that you wanted all over the place. There's only 4 hits for the ball game for the Cubs. So
1 for 5 in first scoring runs in scoring position. So
yeah. So but it worked.
It did. Yeah, they were able to scrape away that victory. And you touched on Matt Shaw. I thought that it was just, like you said, crucial in the 8th to get that home run. When you're going into the bottom of the 8th with a 1-run game, I think it was 3-2. I thought you need one more because in this 9th inning, it's not going to be easy. Like you said, these high-stakes games play havoc on young closers' minds. It can. And I thought Danny P, as good as he is, may give up 1 run. He might. And you need that insurance run. And Shaw goes and puts it over the fence for you. So it's so great to see Matt Shaw rising up when the top of the order, the guys that like you counted on the first half are just ash right now, like Kyle Tucker, PCA, like, they're really having their struggles. And Matt Shaw is just showing that he can kind of put a team on his back as a young guy, showing you that whole rookie roller coaster type of thing where right now we're on the fun part of the ride with Matt Shaw for sure. And not getting too far ahead of myself, but if we as Cubs fans, and I'm talking about the collective of all of us, are sitting on our couches at home where we have our normal 9-to-5 jobs or whatever, and we're saying the young guys are the spark, the young guys are lifting this team up, the young guys, you'd think that a manager getting paid millions of dollars would be able to sit in his freaking office and put the young guys in the lineup. So we're gonna get to that game in a second, but just wrapping up the win yesterday. I thought it was huge. Thought all around they played really good ball. Like you said, they didn't get the big timely hits, but they also didn't look dead. They had the energy, they had the pop, they had the pizzazz, whatever you want to call it. And you can tell that there's something that's been brought in. I think it's the young guys. So good, very good ball game yesterday. Palencia, I agree with you. I'm not worried at all because he's got the stuff until he shows that he's having control issues consistently, God forbid, then I'm not going to get worried about him. So, overall, they had a really good game yesterday. Michael Bush showed that awesome plate appearance. They had a lot of good plate appearances, I will say. So it was a good sign of what I thought would translate into a more competitive game today. But right out of the gate, before the cleats hit the dirt, Joey, there was mistakes made. There were mistakes made.
How do it's your birthday. It's almost like council said, it's my birthday. I'm just going to do whatever the fuck I want. Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
You want to talk shit about me? I'm going to run this lineup out there and we're going to win with this lineup. And guess what? It bit you in the ass, buddy.
Badly.
Stupid. Dude, it's inexcusable today. It's inexcusable. Like you said, punting the lineup was a punt. He's done this a few times on getaway day, and I understand the getaway day mentality, not in a division race.
Where 2 games are at stake.
When you're playing the team ahead of you.
Yep.
I just don't, my dad is 70 years old, Nick. My dad goes, before this game, I went over there, saw him this morning where I had to go to work. I talked to that Matt Shaw, man. That Matt Shaw, that's got to be one of my favorite players now. Matt Shaw. It's all he could talk about, Matt Shaw. And he's not in the lineup.
Crazy.
Against the Brewers in a huge, pivotal game. Stop it. Please tell me you are smarter than that. It's not like, and then the post-game comments, Nick. The post-game comments of basically, or whatever he said with Willie Castro, got to find ways to get these guys in the lineup. You got to find ways, talking about Casey and talking about Shaw. And so that includes Willie Castro. Who gives a fuck about Willie Castro, dude? Sorry. I know he hit a big 3-run homer the other day, but Willie Castro was doing nothing before that since the trade. Nothing before that. And for you to say that you need to get him, take somebody else's spot out then. What's Dansby been doing lately? He's hit some rockets that have found gloves, but outside of that, he's really hasn't been producing lately. Give him the day off then, even though you need the defense. But I still think Matt Shaw has earned his spot to be the everyday third baseman right now. You ride that stretch. It might not last forever the rest of the season. Of course, he's probably going to cool down again at some point too, a little bit, but it's not like you're taking away. Matt Shaw was the everyday third baseman that we wanted him to be coming into the year. So now that he's playing like that, you don't stop these waves between him and Casey. They're 23 years old. They don't need rest. Owen Casey and him collectively, they've both given this team a spark. They've shown the energy. Casey going from first to third or first to home the other night when he's not even that fast of a player, making a diving catch in right field. It's and now you're going to sit this guy for, first of all, Willie Castro. I didn't think he had a terrible game today, but it's besides the point of you still just needed Matt Shaw in the lineup. And then really? Tucker.
That's the other big thing.
I know we got to talk about that, and that's a whole separate topic. But it's
the whole thing right there,
dude. The one guy that needed maybe a little bit more rest, even to make more adjustments or to get back
more rest. Yeah,
you played him, forced him back into the lineup today, in place of 2 guys, or one for sure in Casey. But if you weren't going to put Casey in the lineup, you could have put Shaw in the lineup and it had Willie Castro somewhere else then. Like, that could have been a thing. It's mind-boggling, dude. Like, Craig Counsell, you guys have got to ride these stretches. I tweeted it out last night. The stretches of like Frank Schwindel, Rafael Cortega. That was right after the core got traded, of course. I don't know if I mentioned his name or not, but Patrick Wisdom, Christopher Morel, like these guys aren't top prospects like these two players are that we're talking about currently, but it's still the same type of mindset. Like we've seen guys go on these heaters and they don't need to be.
No.
You gotta be smarter than that, dude. Like, let's stop looking at all the advanced bullshit. You're overthinking it. Dude. You've played this game, Craig. You played. Did you have all those analytics when you were playing? Absolutely not. Have some damn like awareness of the situation, please. You didn't go for the gut today. You didn't go for the gut. You went for your own ass. Is what you did.
Yeah, 100%. That's what, when I saw the lineup, I was disgusted because it's something that he's done before, like you said, and whatever. Like we can get over it if it's a different moment. But like you said, have some awareness. This is a division race right now. You are trying to, take them out at the top, and now it's going to be really hard. 7 games versus 5 games. So it's like, I also was just disgusted by it. I mean, and then overall, like I felt like Tucker really was just dead out there again. Like I don't know, and we can talk about it. I mean, they announced that he had an injury, that we all knew he had this injury. We all knew it.
Yeah, just confirmed like the fracture, right? That's
it. Yeah. And at what point, my question to you, Joey, and this may be like controversial, but I really do not care. At what point do you think Kyle Tucker was looking out for his own ass than the team by playing and getting his playing time out there so he can have his contract? Because if he goes on the IL, maybe it's not as pretty of a contract. Well, I know he's a competitor, but there's got to be another piece to him as well, going like, I need to play. I need to be out there. I need to be showing people what I'm actually worth.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe I don't know, man.
Out of his own way.
It's tough to really get in the mind of a player in that sense, because on one hand, it's easy to look at it that way and say, well, he's got 500 million reasons why he needs to be on that field. But on the other hand, excuse me, he's got millions of reasons to not be on the field, because he's actually hurting himself by being out there and playing and playing to worse production, I think. And maybe not the biggest sense, because he's still going to get paid no matter what. Like, guys look at career, and you're only 28 years old and he's still going to get paid, whether that's here, whether that's somewhere else, and most likely somewhere else. And this is just another reason for Ricketts and whoever else, even if he goes on a tear here to end the season, for them to say, no, we're good. We don't really want him. But the thing is I can't sit here and don't know what his intentions are. I think he shows a lot of balls for going out there and trying to go with something obviously clearly bothering him, and, making the adjustments, and whether it's actually bothering him or not, because they insist that he's healthy now. He's healthy. He's healed. He's healthy. He's healed. It's a mechanics thing. It's him in his own head. It's whatever adjustments he's made due to the injury that's holding him back. And that could totally be true at this point, because the June that he had, if you believe, like if what has transpired is if what's been reported is real to transpire here, June 1st is when he got the injury, and he still had a hell of a June. The power numbers kind of dipped a little bit, but in July and August, really no power whatsoever, and a huge decline in production. Outside of, getting on base, has still been pretty solid. But if he's not walking, he's grounding out to the right side, a la Jason Hayward. So I don't know like a part of me, like I respect him for trying to go out there and play through it. I really do. Like I have, there's a part of me that's like, that's just how everyone was raised. Like, if you really love the game, you want to be out there no matter what. You don't want to sit out. So to me, I put more of the blame, and I know it's still on him too, but I do put more of the blame on the organization, because I don't think it took till now for you guys to sit there and be like, oh, you know what, we're going to hold him out a few days, which turned into being only 2 days.
Yeah, that's true.
And he's right back out there. But beside the point, it shouldn't have gotten till August, what was it, 18th, when they made that announcement or whatever. Like, this has been going on for a while now. You could have said him, put him on a 10-day IL, whatever, just go chill for a little bit. We don't need it, the production that desperately, to at least get through a little bit of a stretch here. You can get through a little bit of a stretch. Maybe you call up Casey a little bit sooner than you thought, and you get a little bit of a spark earlier. You know, who knows what happens in that case. But I don't want to sit here and say it's all because of the money, but I do. There are certain plays where you're like, well, you know, that's questionable, like that play in right field. And it's possible also when we watch it back, you know, he's put his hand up as he's running, he's going more back towards the wall, and then he kind of cuts out to the right, to the foul line. Yep. So it's possible that he did lose it in the sun a little bit too. So I don't know. And then that play, like, you know, lack of effort, not running down the first baseline on the other day before he got sat down and everyone was losing their minds about. To me, I thought, well, he probably just thought it was going to be foul. And the way that he hit it right at the third baseman, he was out by a mile. So him stopping there, it wasn't the most egregious not running down the first baseline that I've ever seen.
No, it wasn't.
You know what I mean?
I agree with you there 100%. Yeah, it wasn't like it. Yeah, you know, they say run everything out, but you and I both know there are some things that you just know you're done.
Yeah.
It's over, yeah. And why risk an injury or anything like that too? But I know exactly what you mean. And there's some ones that are really bad where you don't run and the ball's misplayed and then you're out anyways, things like that. But I mean, I agree with you 100%. And the thing with Kyle Tucker is why even take that risk today when you have a young, hungry guy like Owen Casey just ready to build on his success early on. And I'm another firm believer of when you do have a prospect, especially like a good prospect, he knows good with the bat, it takes a little bit for the league to kind of figure them out. So why not throw the dice in? Like, people know Kyle Tucker. There's a book on Kyle Tucker, and when he's struggling, he's going to really struggle because these pitchers know exactly what to do. And Owen Casey's a little different. They haven't really gotten to see him. They haven't figured him out as much. He's young. He's hungry. He would have got that ball in right field. I don't care what anyone says. I think he would have caught that ball. It's just a matter of it's a different situation right now. And like you said about Craig Counsell, you have to recognize that. You have to see this in the prism of, like, you're only giving Kyle Tucker 2 days to rest. Like, why does that even make any sense after you waited all this time? Like,
yeah, you're telling me he got it all figured out in 2 days.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would have given him the trip. Like, it was big enough that they announced that they were taking Kyle Tucker, which right now he isn't as scary or threatening, but taking Kyle Tucker out in the middle of the Brewers series, like, this is when you've decided to take him out, is the middle of the Brewers series. You had so much time before that to give him rest, to figure out what's going on, and then you wait to the most important 5-game stretch of the year. So that in of itself annoyed me, but I wasn't as upset because he's not doing well. Well, you bring up Owen Casey. To me, fine. Like, okay, put him in, and I'm fine with letting Kyle Tucker rest the whole Milwaukee series, especially after seeing what Casey was doing. And then you pull this crap today with this lineup. It's horrible. And the other guy that is really struggling behind scenes, and it's funny because he was also succeeding behind scenes too, which you don't usually get that where, like, they fly under the radar on both, but it's Seiya Suzuki, man. Like, Seiya is really struggling at the plate. Like, just feels like, I don't know if you're seeing anything different out of him. He's getting screwed by the umpires, which what's new, you know, because But I don't think that's his only issue. I think a lot of it has to do with like his swing, like he's going like this and most balls
Yeah.
with the wind
I've
and
noticed
everything.
he's a little indecisive again too.
Yeah, yeah,
It's almost like he's not picking up the ball the way that he was earlier this year. But you're right, his swing doesn't look like the Seiya Suzuki swing. But when he's at his best, he's aggressive because he does have such a good eye. But that means you can hit the pitches that you're seeing so
yeah.
well, even if they're borderline. Like, so I do, and there were some pitches that are like borderline impossible to hit, that he struck out on, like
Inside, yeah, egregious
the
inside.
one that are like corner top left of the box that they're like scraping it, and it's like, yes, that's a strike, but holy shit, man, who's hitting that?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
no one's hitting that.
No,
And like, he is going through it. I've seen some signs from Seiya to come out of it though.
that's good. Yeah,
At least it looks like it doesn't look like he's far off. I'll say it, like, just naked eye, nothing to really go off of there. And I haven't like looked at his advanced stuff or anything like
sure.
hard hit metrics or anything like that, but I don't think he's that far off. I think Seiya's snapping out of it. I would say probably even this series.
Yeah. Well, I hope so. Interesting thought here from Jay. Tucker needs to go on the IL.
I've been saying that too, just not on the show because we haven't done a show, or I haven't been on a show.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
but yeah, I don't. What are you scared of? Like, there's no reason to. The discussion I thought we were going to have today, Nick, like, if I'm being honest, before the game even took place and we knew we were having to have a show tonight, was should Matt Shaw move up in the order? Matt Shaw and Nico. I think those two guys should he be in the lineup? And instead, you got Kyle Tucker in the lineup batting second.
Wild stuff.
What are we doing, man? Like, the one guy, it has nothing to even do with like, are you hurt or not? You're not producing right now. So yeah, put him on the IL, sit him down for an entire week if that's what it takes. But like, then you don't want to waste a roster. Just 10-day IL him, call him back, and let's see if he can make a stretch. Because I maybe I'm in the minority camp here. Maybe I'm not. I don't really know the pulse on everybody's thoughts on this. But I think Kyle Tucker's going to bust out of this before the season's over. And I think he's going to go on a tear. But the problem is the mentality, the mental game of it right now with him is far greater, I think, than even what the injury is. And so you're not going to bust out of it if you're just running your ass back out there immediately. And that's not enough time to fix your mechanical problems, I don't think. I know you're a big leaguer, but how long did it take him from the spring to get right going into the season? And then he was on fire to start the season. And everyone's like, oh my God, he's terrible. Spring training. Well, he needs to go through another spring training, and it has to be away from the club. That's my thoughts.
Yeah, well, it's all great thoughts there. Honestly, like, it just feels like we call it bittersweet, but for me, this really spoiled the whole series because you had an opportunity today to at least fight. I would have felt a lot better if there was a better lineup out there, if there was better effort, if there was just better, if it was a better all-around ball game. Not taking away, we didn't even talk about it, but Imanaga showed a fucking shuck, man. Yeah. 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, only 2 earned runs given up, and he gets the freaking loss. That's why wins and losses are stupid. But man, he gave you everything you needed today to win that ball game, and you just pissed it away. You should have had at least 3 or 4 runs up on the board by the time he came out of that ball game. And you manage, as Scott put it earlier, you get 8 walks and only 1 run.
It's terrible.
It was trouble all on. They went 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position. Just an all-around bad game. But, I mean, final thoughts on this this game, the series, before we move on to what's ahead.
Hopefully Cade Horton will be back soon here. I know he had the blister, came out early. It sounds like he he was confident that he would be making his next start, but I could see them also using this as an opportunity to rest his arm if they do go that route. But if they were going to go that route, I don't know. I haven't seen any announcement. I feel like they would have already made a roster move to get an extra pitcher or something like that. So I kind of doubt that that's going to be the case. Interested to see who pitches tomorrow against the Angels. I also think that, I know you guys covered this in the last show, but J-Mo in his first outing back was super impressive to me, the way that he was able to go out there and give you 6 quality innings in a huge game, in a huge series, fresh off the IL after missing quite a bit of time. I thought that was huge, and maybe really a huge reason why he was pitching as poorly as he was before going on the IL was because he was truly just not himself before going on the IL too. So, all the people that were kind of hating on him, and, we had conversations about him giving up the home run ball and all that. Him pitching in those conditions too definitely benefits him with the wind blowing in. Same with Colin Ray. And I think another thing that really impressed me about Matt Shaw in his game the other day was the wind was blowing in and he still smacked that shit out of there. So there wasn't the best hitting conditions in this series. It was still nice to see when they were able to produce. But you just need more, man. You need more when runners in scoring position like today. I'd like to see Dansby and Happ start to drive the ball a little bit more. I know Dansby does have some bombs this year, but you need to start coming through with the runners in scoring position thing. Get out of your head, dude, please. And move Nico up. If you're not going to move Shaw up, because you might not even play him, move Nico up, because he's been your most consistent, steady bat all season long when it comes to just bat to ball and batting average, and he's got the wheels. So I would, it's time. Let's stick him right at the top of the lineup and just see where that can go, I think. So that's pretty much it, man. I know I had a lot to just get off my chest tonight, but Nick, it doesn't even sound like it's sweet. It sounds very much more bitter from me, but I am happy that they got 3. I just think you left a lot of meat on the bone, and you need to have a little bit more killer instinct in you. And it comes from the top, and it didn't come from the manager. And that's where I get the most frustrated. It's like, do you think that the players on the field don't see who's producing and who's not? They absolutely do. That's why the comments, I think even from Ian Happ, which might have been taken out of context, where he was like basically saying, thankfully I get to go out there every day and play. I think what he meant was I get to work through my struggles and find my rhythm, is kind of like how I took his comments.
Sure.
But still, if you're not producing, and this is not on Happ, I think he's kind of gotten more of the brunt than deserved, really, when it comes to the rest of the guys that are hitting. I don't think he's been their worst hitter. It's just he plays a position that another guy has come up and is promising. But I just think those guys, they see who's producing, they see who's not. You can't pull the wool over them. I don't care what kind of experience you want. Every single player that plays the game wants to be on the field. Don't worry about hurting people's feelings. Now is not the time to worry about hurting people's feelings. You got to play who's your best guys for that game. Don't play this large sample bullshit. Like, you got to have a little bit more feel for what's going on. So those are my final thoughts, Nick. Like I said, I've been rambling a lot, man. I'm sorry.
No, that's really good. There was a lot of great stuff there. Honestly, what I took away from it is you just need more. You just need more at this point from the Cubs and from most of the guys in that lineup. Obviously, there's outliers. There's good guys that we've talked about. Horner's obviously one of them for sure, and Shaw and the young guys. But the thing is like, if you want to compete, if you want to be a strong team going into the playoffs, even if you are going to go the wild card route, then you have to get more out of the team, and you have to take advantage of good pitching, which they've failed to do, which is honestly for me the most infuriating thing of the whole thing, is because the pitching really hasn't been all that bad since the break. And you really have not taken advantage of it because the offense have just vanished for a while. And the series, back to the whole bittersweet thing, I am happy they won 3 out of 5. I was really nervous that they would get completely demolished in this series and would be an embarrassment. But it ended up being good for them. And, they played the best team in baseball right now. I hate saying it. It makes me sick, but I said it, and it's true. They played the best team in baseball, and they showed that they can compete against the best team in baseball. So if anything, we're going to take away positive or sweet, it's that. It's that they did look good against, a team like that. So I don't know, man. Those are my final thoughts. Moving on to Anaheim, as you said, we don't really know who's pitching tomorrow. Jay believes that it's going to be a combo of Assad and Brown.
I could see that. We were kind of talking about that off air. Yeah.
We were. And Scott put this little number here. The Cubs don't play another team over 500 until September 18th. And the whole strength of schedule thing, I don't normally like to play. But at this point in the season, you have to take advantage of that. You have to take advantage of it, and you have to, like you said, have a little bit of killer instinct, knowing that these are the teams that you just need to bulldoze through and use to your advantage. And maybe Milwaukee slips up. Maybe the Cubs go on a hot streak and Milwaukee gets cold and goes 500. Who knows? That's why you play these games. So I'm looking forward to the end. But, for this series coming up, we talked a lot about what they need to do. But specifically, from the offensive standpoint, what would you like to see them do in Anaheim?
Oh, come up with a clutch hit. That'd be nice. Hit the ball over the fence, too.
Sure.
This team's been more reliant on the home run ball. And I said that going back episodes ago. We're talking back to, the Tigers series stuff when we did that Friday show, which we haven't really done a Friday show in a while. I think one thing that I was noticing around that time was the home run ball is becoming more of a they need that in order to score runs. And to me, that was a problem then that carried into problems for the future that turned out to be, this has really been an issue. And maybe a little bit of small ball would be nice too. I know the wind was blowing in here, but let's steal some more bases, get a little bit more aggressive. You got to get the guys on, first of all. When you have 4 hits in a game, but you still have all those walks, I mean, it's I don't know. I just offense in general. What do I want to see? Pick out good pitches and take advantage of them. Far too often for the last couple months has there been meatballs down the plate, fastballs in particular, or cement mixer sliders that they are just fouling off or completely missing, swinging through or popping up. It's dude, Kyle Tucker aside, what's going on with the rest of you guys? Did you forget how to crush a heater right down the middle? That's, you know what I mean? I know it's some guys are throwing absolute smoke, but I think you still should do that to get right. And I hope that that's the case. But I do like that you pointed out the starting pitching, because that was the big thing that we were all up in arms about, me included, that they should have done a better job of going out and getting a starting pitcher at the deadline. But they have been first in ERA, starting pitcher ERA, since the All-Star break. And I think that staff as a whole, and the emergence of Cade Horton, the return of Shota, now the return of JMO, Colin Ray being solid. If you would have told me you're losing Steele for the season, you're going to lose Shota for a long period, JMO for a long period, and this staff is going to be as good as it's been for the entirety of the year, I would have told you you're absolutely out of your mind. So I got to give them a lot of credit, and hopefully they can keep this up. The offense has to pick up the slack, dude. It can't be, because this isn't going to last forever with some of these guys, and it's a little bit of fool's gold. So you got to strike, and please, dear God, Council, leave Matt Shaw at least, and ideally both of those two for a while, but leave Matt Shaw in the lineup and just let him ride.
100%. I agree completely. Well, this was fun, man. It was fun to talk about this series, whether, we didn't get the full result we wanted, but it was a very bittersweet series, and it was fun to talk about this with you. I do want to let our audience know where they could find us, where you guys can support us. You can go over to ontapsportsnet.com. We have plenty of content. All of us work very hard. We got the Bears boys that are going to be getting started up soon. I'm really excited for the season. We got the Blackhawks. Four Feathers is running tonight. Bulls, Cubs, and you have friends. We have friends. I have relatives that are Sox fans. We have really good Sox coverage here as well. So go check us out at Joey Knows Nothing, at Nick_on_tap, and then follow the rest of the boys in the podcast description. You can find their handles over there. But yeah, this was a fun time. And what do you say we get out of here the only way that we know how, Joey?
Well, I was going to ask you if I should change my username to at Craig Count Me Out Soul. But yeah, fuck the Cardinals, fuck the Brewers, and possibly Craig Counsell, and let's go Cubbies.
Fuck the Cardinals, fuck Andrew Vaughn, and let's go Cubbies.